She got the lip from you, man. She laid down the law, man. My girl even wouldn't get that
The
rough.
girl can battle, cuz, you know what I'm saying?
I guess so, maybe, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I know one. I got my fucking $40 worth last night. That's for sure. What's that?
Like if it would have been towards somebody different instead of Casey or Penelope, would have been different.
I think this show is taking a little bit like the Jammy Nam. You know, some of the longtime listeners are getting the fucking the boot.
No, I don't do the boot.
No.
Sure.
What's she saying?
Wait. It's the World Series happening right now. Did you know that?
Yes, I don't have the Red Sox.
So you know, why am I the only person on the World Series happening right now?
Did you guys eat McDonald's tonight for dinner or what?
And Boston's in it. How do I not know this?
Domino's?
You didn't know the World Series tonight?
No. The dude at liquor store said, you know, Boston. No, I didn't know it. And I'm from Rhode Island, so of course, I think the only one that mattered, you know, 2004 when we broke the curse. Then what? A couple years later, I think since we broke it, I think we're at the point where no one gives a fuck.
Oh man, I don't feel so good no more.
My tummy hurt.
I drank some wine last night. My fucking head's been killing me.
Wine? Ugh.
Yeah, well, some rosé. You ever had that shit?
No, I drink liquor, not wine.
My stomach's been kind of hurting too ever since.
Wine is like, of course, like wine. I consider wine like
that's kind of the best part of it for me. To be honest,
the best part. Have your ass bleed like it's red? Okay.
Well, it doesn't bleed. It's not actual blood. Come on.
No, but it looks like it. I'd be heart attack on a goddamn toilet bowl. It's all right. We're just mad red. I would go. Like, whenever shit in the toilet, I look back and it's just all red. I'd be like, like I'm gonna die.
Yeah, I don't know. It's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, I was on the toilet just for like a couple minutes today. That's about it.
Wait, Donnie, did you miss the whole Miss Sains versus Penelope shit?
I don't know.
What's going on? I don't get it.
What you paid for the other night was followed through tonight.
Pretty much.
Oh my god. Well, it looks like I got double my money's worth then.
Yeah, you did.
Money well spent. Money well spent.
It was.
Hey, like you said, it's a car wash.
Look, because I brought him up during it. The Donnie donated, but he's battling through it. So today, it finally went out. I can't believe Penelope finally went on. Let her voice me know. She sounds exactly like Elizabeth Warren.
You know, some of these other faggots, they need to cough up some money too. I shouldn't be the only one footing the bill for this fucking great entertainment.
Well, I was mad. I got 20-something bucks, but I was trying to make him go more, but she had to destroy Penelope, I guess, though, for some reason. I was like, wait till we get $20 more of a donation, but she didn't. And she destroyed Penelope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the stream. She sounds like a little boy, if you ask me. Kind of like
I'm surprised Penelope went to like I told Penelope, you follow Broke Bar. He's been doing this for years, and he has less than 500 subscribers. He lost. He said, "Nobody's a loser. Not funny. Not interesting."
Hey, I got to get out of here. Okay, you guys have a good night. I'll have to watch that. I'll watch it.
I got out of here too, Don. No.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Hey, my name's Donnie. I'm a mattress place. I get a Peter Posturepedic mattress out of it. Give him Donnie. All right, peace, Don.
He never stays very long.
I know. Well, he owns real businesses. I get it. He has a real life.
Well, so do I.
Yeah, but you're a loser in your real life. So like, Donnie owns like companies. You're like a dude who's going elbow deep in some cow pussy. There's a difference there, my nigga. Donnie's wife ain't going, hey, get your arm out of that cow's pussy. Like, he runs businesses and you're elbow deep in some cow pussy. There's a difference there, my nigga.
All right.
Well, you're half Mexican though, right, Doug?
No, I'm not.
What are you?
Because I like being outside. Well, that's just part of the job. I don't know what to. I don't have no control over that.
But-
Oh no, I'm their boss. What are you talking about? Oh no, that's not how it works.
But his whole thing is fraud. Like, I bet you if you went over to his shit right now, he would have more live viewers. But when his video uploads, he'll have less than half the views I get. It's all a fraud perpetuated. Like, he bought 1,000 subs, but
Liars, Kyle.
it's so fake to me. It's so bizarre to me. I can't imagine doing it without making money. That's why I can't just fucking monitor this at the end of June. Please don't. Because I'll make this clear right now. They moved it from the end of April to the end of June where they're going to start monetizing channels. If this shit ain't monetized at the end of June, which they're promised, I might have to just quit YouTube. I'm going to have to fucking quit it. Like last month I got a $500 donation total. You can see it right up here. We're in the top left from Donald Trump. Give me $500 last month. That's good and all, but I like to make it myself I like that donation plus ad revenue. I was getting at least $1,000 a month just off ad revenue. And if I can't do that, I'm gonna have to quit this shit. But this thing ain't getting shit. So he's making this life mission, but he's lying. It's so pathetic to me.
Kyle announced his new partnership and his potential retirement in the same stream.
Goddamn right. Because let's keep it real. YouTube said the end of April. They switched it to the end of June. If I go to the end of June, they move it. I like y'all donations. I might have to just tap out on it, to be honest with you. I mean, it was fun. I like talking my shit. And I like the donations, but and even if I have to rely on I can't rely because I'm not a live streaming nigga. I can't do this 8 hours a day, every day. The live streams aren't supposed to be there. If you look at my original channel, my huge channel, I would do a week's full of videos. Then on Saturday and maybe Sunday, I would do a drunk live stream, but talk about what I talked about before in that week. I'm not supposed to know who this nigga is because he doesn't have the subs or views I get. I'm not supposed to know who the fuck he is.
Oh shit. Oh shit, guys.
Or shit, what?
Look who's in the Discord.
Joe Booty! Oh shit!
We got your legendary fucking hero in here.
Mr. Fake News Media. Keep trash and calling me fake news all this way. We finally can meet, my fellow American. Keep calling me fake news. Tell me what's fake news about me. We're all proven fact. We're real news. We speak real news and we speak real facts. You're all fake news talking trash about my show. Go ahead, Mr. Lodonatus is sick and tired of your bullshit. Oh. What do you have to say about me? What do you have to say about me? How am I fake news?
I don't know who the fuck you are, so.
Yeah. Well, there's a video you made of me. There's a video you had, okay? And you're calling me fake news and calling me the N-word and all this. I can send it to you if you want to see it.
You know, you sound like Al Pacino yelling.
You
Come on,
sound like
Booney.
a trailer trash who lived in a dump. That's what you sound like.
Oh damn! Kyle, don't let him say that to you. He's melting with Kyle.
Nobody disrespects my show. Nobody disrespects them. If they do, they get my size 15 boot and it goes up the radish and candy ass.
Does he not sound like Al
Come on,
Pacino
Sam.
after
Come
Devil's Advocate
play.
yelling to anyone else?
Kyle is dodging. Kyle's dodging.
Mr. Fake News, there's a video I put on my page. You better watch it. It's from Mr. Lodonatus from Lubbock, Texas. You watch it and get back to me what you think about John.
The link to that is in the chat. The link to that is in the chat.
You make clips to get topics, and there's Donnie has Tara clips, nothing absolute. I'm reading shit in the chat. You sound like Al Pacino, dude. What are you doing? Yeah,
I sound like Al Pacino. So what do you sound like too? You sound like a Muppet who lives in a dumpster, can't even have a real microphone. You're from Rhode Island? What the hell's Rhode Island? Where are you? In the East Coast or the West Coast? Or where the hell are you, brother?
Oh, let me talk, you fucking loser. Nobody you know and know. Shut the fuck up and let me explain the bit you're doing. Can I explain the bit you're doing, you fucking nobody who watches you, stupid? Can I give you some press, some views, stupid? This dude's like a 40-year-old white dude they respect and convinced to do their bidding, so it's good, Joe Booney. Stop trying to be a character, dude. Like you old and white, and it didn't work. And I know too. I know a couple.
Wait.
Stupid. I know a couple.
You stupid. You mojo.
I know a couple. You think internet guys got a hold of you and they promise you to make you relevant. It didn't happen, so you suck. So shut
You
the
know
fuck
what?
up.
Joe Booney has all the ceiling tiles on his show.
Does he?
Write this stuff down,
Joe,
guys.
all right, guys, this is a boxing match. Joe, you came out strong. You won the first.
Sam Hill.
Oh, clickbait, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again.
What's up? All right.
Feels
This is,
so all alone. Everybody must get stoned.
I'm working on it. So I want to handle this basically like a press conference. I'm sure you saw me write that in the chat. So you go ahead and
wait, man. Just let me make one request, and then I promise I'll follow you. Just one request.
Okay.
I gotta see the best video in the world, and then we'll rock and roll, man. Then we'll go. Then we'll have whatever you want to press conference. I gotta see that video.
I can't play that video on stream. I don't have it set to 18 plus right now. I don't think anyway. It's set for not for kids, but not 18 plus. So I don't want to risk it. I don't want to get a Hostbuster situation.
Okay, man. We have three things. I'll give you three choices. We can talk about me crying, or we could go to your questions, or I could do Shakespeare. I could do Henry V. Whatever
All right.
you want to do, man.
Why don't we start with Henry V and we'll start with there, okay? You start.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin, click, no, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are e'en out to do our country loss. And if to live the fewer man, the greater share of honor, God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By click, I am not covetous for gold, nor care, I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires, but if it be sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No faith, my cause, wish not a man from Chet. God's peace, I would not lose so great an honor, as one man more methinks would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more, rather proclaim it, AOC, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors, and say, tomorrow is Saint Crispian. Then will he strip his stone and slow his scars, and say, these words I had on Crispian's day. Old me forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did this day that shall our names. Familiar is his mouth as hosts out names. Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucestershire, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered. We few, we have, we band of brothers, for he today that shed his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he never so vile, this day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen now abed shall think themselves accursed. They were not here, and hold their manhold chops whiles any speaks that fought with us today, Saint Crispian's day.
Very good, Sam. I think if you read in the chat, I don't know if you're reading the chat, but they're going wild. They're saying finally some culture. Uh-oh, what happened there?
Oh, hey, chat. I can't see you, man, but can you read some of that chat there, sir? I respect the chat.
Well, Inglinger just had a bunch of stuff that was written in the chat, but they were timed out, so it's all gone.
Donka, man. I love that Inger. He fights for his princess lady Jamie of making lemonade. I dig that Inger, man. I dig him.
Clearfoss says encore. Cosmic Cam says thank God it's over.
What? Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Cam, man, I dig you, man. You got that deep spirituality. Now he looks goofy. If you look at him, you say, wow, what a goofy looking motherfucker, man. But you only see the outer appearance of Cosmic. He's a shaman, man. He's a shaman, man. You go cool with you go into interior space of the rooms, man. The doors of perception. So I dare you to go negative now there, Cosmic. Go.
Well, we'll have to wait for that. But some other things they're saying. Ing wanted me. Oh, Cosmics just said Ing wanted me to time him out because Sam sucks. Oh. Alexander Octopus says I was most disappointed.
What?
Oh, wait. Let me put that in context. He says, the prior comment, Sam says, Sam Hill and Hoxie were doing great until the stream was disrupted. And then he said, I was most disappointed.
Talk about that, man. That's what this little motherfucker Click wants me to talk about. We will. It's his show for now.
That's what you wanted to talk about, right? I think the chat wants you to talk about it, too.
Well, I see. I could talk about that little LH Ross dog trying to get mad at me and making me feel embarrassed for crying. But I'm not
when did you cry?
Let's
talk about the crying.
I will.
Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Okay. So, by the way, this latent homosexual man, Ross Dog, has never cried. So, folks, before I tell you what happened, I might have a question for you. Chat. In your lifetimes, have you ever lost anyone you loved? I bet you have. You might have lost your mom, or might have lost your dad, a uncle, even a pet, man. We can love those animals, and you know what, man? If you lost one of those things, and you cried because you felt deep love, and by crying, by losing it, you were acknowledging that person meant something to you. So I've cried 2 times in a year and a half. I cried with Hostbusters. I know if I bring my best friend's name up, I still lose it. But I brought him up and I cried for a couple seconds, and then man, I guess it was last week. I went 1, 2, 3. I was into the hour 5 and 6, and I was talking with Frank, and I was talking about this infamous milk play discussion that Click made the best video in the world, and at some point, man, you gotta go back to this Pop Vulture Inc. And
Let's stay
look at this.
let's stay on track here though. Come on. I appreciate it, but we can plug away after.
You know, I play that before I come on air, and okay, man, what we were talking about? Oh, the crying.
Frank.
So, folks, listen. Well, I was talking to Frank, and we were talking deep, and you know, I told this story about you probably heard it, about me having a joke with my firstborn son. Innocent joke, anyway, and I told that story to my. Well, this is what I was telling Frank, you little motherfucker. Let me say it.
Go ahead.
So it's just your show. So
Right.
I used to tell this story, this funny little story, this kinship I made with my first son. I used to tell this story to my first wife, and we got divorced, and you know, I didn't have her to tell. We'd tell the story and laugh, and so I was sitting with Sean one night. We had to wait throughout the night in this car, and I told him the story, right? And then Sean had this experience with his dame, where the lady was giving milk to children, breastfeeding, and so Sean said he tried it, and that milk was sweet. But the milk I tasted was, so we had this ridiculous conversation because the milk I tasted was sour. So then, when in the middle of the night on this stream, I remember.
If you want to hear what happens next, stupid, you're going to have to donate. Nope, I'm not doing it. Just $1.
Saved my life 3 times. And okay, so when I say this name, and it would have been the second time I cried, I broke down. I said his name and I cried, and I cried, and so here comes this latent homosexual man named Ross Dog, and he's bitter, and because he lost me as his on-air talent, and probably personal stuff going on, maybe repressed latent homosexuality. Anyway, man, he came on and tried to make fun of me for crying. He wants me to be embarrassed, and no, it's on Busters, like from 2 weeks ago. I'll even post it. LH Ross Dog, I'm not embarrassed. I'm kind of proud, because I honor this man, and I'm not going to say his name because someone thinks they can embarrass me, you little fucker.
Let's get to know Sean a little bit better. Like, I don't know about this Sean guy. I just know that he was your buddy. I mean, was it like a disease or a car accident? I mean, or you don't have to get into it, I guess, if you don't want to. It's deep shit. But you did bring it up.
This is what's going on, folks. The man you're listening to, and I haven't been the only one. Some other people said this. I think Donnie said this. He is the best host, but he admitted a week and a half ago that he is a puppet master. So he's coming on all passionate. Oh, let's find out about. No, man, he probably wants to see me cry. I
don't want to see you cry. If you're gonna cry anywhere, I would rather it be here, though. With
me.
Right.
Hear what he just said? I got this guy, dig this man, but he's got this dark side. He's got this strange side. And one time I came on here and we're talking about maybe a stream, and all of a sudden I hear this strange little voice coming from this man who's talking now. Click, he's saying, "Hey, Sam Hill, put your hands in your nutsack." So who knows what you're going to hear tonight? No, I'd rather.
AOC says only women cry. Sorry, Sam.
Add to me all the comments, man. You know I dig this AOC, and you had to read that comment. I'm not going to talk about him. I have other things to talk about. Now, if I had...
Can I just say something? It was a prank. You know how you sucked on the tit? He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
You can't say anything. You can't say anything. I'm sorry. What did you say?
AOC didn't say that. It was a prank on AOC.
Oh,
I'm
what a
sorry.
little liar you are.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean,
Oh, you're not sorry.
I
Sorry.
guess in the same way that Howard Stern would try to get, evoke some type of emotional response. I'm trying to do that. Sure. I'm sorry, Sam. You caught me. You caught me with my hand in the cookie jar.
Comparing himself to Howard Stern. Wow.
Yeah, man. I have a microphone.
Better than Howard Stern now. He used to be great. He used to be better than everyone. But I can't listen to him, Click. I tried. Here's this old man billionaire. And so, yeah, I guess you and me are better than Howard Stern.
Well,
now prove it. Go.
Well, it's like, dude, he's even hard to relate. Like, A-listers have a hard time relating to him. You know what I mean? He's like that alienated in that status. So like people are even like if you're Jennifer Aniston, you're even kind of nervous going up and trying to spark a conversation with the guy. And it's weird because, if you remember like his roots, I don't know, I was too young and so were you. But like the way they talk about him, he was like the everyday man. He was like a blue collar guy. Blue collar guys
That
listen to him
doesn't
at work.
mean that I can't go back in history and see the clips. I don't believe he was ever every man because he's too neurotic. He talked about growing up in a black neighborhood and getting beat up, but they can see that you can say whatever you want, folks. I just can't imagine him seriously, Click, is ever an every man. And in fact, from an early age, he wanted to be not an every man, and he wasn't, from being a minority group in a tough neighborhood and having a
see, there you go. He was relatable in that aspect though because he did grow up in a tough neighborhood, and he would.
I didn't grow up in a black neighborhood.
No, not you.
Oh,
no,
maybe you did.
I'm saying that a lot of people on the East Coast who are like working in factories or working in at the docks and shit like that, they came from probably humble beginnings. I'm sure.
He didn't come from humble. He didn't come from humble beginnings. His father worked in a station and made decent money. Some people just stay.
He was an audio engineer. They don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
He worked in the city, but
those guys don't work hard like the jobs you described. And how do you know he didn't make a lot of money?
My point is, if you listen to his stories, he says that he grew up around a lot of blacks and in tough neighborhoods, regardless of what his father did.
Okay, well, folks who grew up Jewish in a black neighborhood as a kid, I guess you can relate to that.
Jews and blacks fucking. I guess I don't know. Jews and blacks don't get along. You know anything about that? I'm not a world traveler like you, Sam.
Want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, you could just cry again.
I usually know the answer. Okay, folks, what happened was that Jewish people are really good at business, and everybody and other people are good at business. So anyway, in these ghetto neighborhoods, first they were different ethnic neighborhoods, like the Irish, and they became Italian, and finally the Jewish, and then the blacks moved in, and some of these Jews were still selling in these stores. So in the majority of the neighborhoods in the 60s, you had this difficult relationship because there were these Jews in these stores, and the blacks would come in and maybe have a bad relationship with these people.
Well, was there ever a time when there was like a lot of black store owners in black neighborhoods back in the day, or was that kind of like a new phenomenon or a recent phenomenon?
Well, I'm sure in some neighborhoods were so bad, especially in the South, that the whole neighborhood was probably 100% black, I imagine, sir.
If the Jews were anything the way that the Muslims are now, I don't know how it is where you're at, but like a lot of these Muslims, or I should say not. Well, they're Muslims, but they're Arab people. Definitely, they come over here.
Are you careful about your speech?
Yeah, hold on, and thanks for pointing it out, Sam, and then fucking totally, blowing me off the tracks here. So anyway, they'll come here and
blow yourself, man.
Oh my God, Sam! Can I get a point out, man, on my own show or no?
Go ahead,
Thank
man.
you.
I give you permission.
You're
It's your
fucking me
show.
up, bro. Come on. You're like Helen DeKellar
No,
whipping
you
your dick
fucked
out on my
yourself up.
stream.
Well enough.
So they come
Yeah,
over
no,
here and
Helen
then they'll get
Keller,
a
man, I-
fucking they'll get a place like a gas station or something like that, and then they'll work it, they'll pay it off, and then they'll get somebody, they'll put it in another person's name, and it's like a, I don't want to sound like Hitler or anything like that, but it's like they come in and they infest. They're just, well, they don't drink, they don't
No,
smoke,
man.
they don't do anything. You know, they have like hardly any
Oh, man,
vices.
don't use that word.
All they do is they just work and they reinvest their money and they send a lot of it back and then they bring more people back. But I don't know. Maybe that's how people were viewing the, especially maybe blacks at that time, because they're like, dude, all these fucking Jews keep moving into our neighborhoods and opening up these fucking stores. You know, like you were saying.
I tend to agree with you, but you know what? Instead of just saying Jewish, you can say immigrant, because that's what like the Mexicans around me are doing. And let me read this ridiculous comment filled with latent homosexualities by L.H. Rostog, who just wrote in this Discord. He says, "Ew, thanks for sharing, homo. I don't want to hear about your weird sexual fantasies involving me." Well, man, you are the one for a year and a half calling everybody gay. You bring up gay all the time, you little fuck. You say you gay, you gay, you gay. You bring it up all the time, man. And here's the kicker, Rostog, folks. I'm not doxing him for being a latent homosexual. He might be an out homosexual. Now look what he said before. He said at a barbecue he took his dick out and had a dick fight with another man, and you're calling me a homo, man? I never took my dick out, but you did, Rostog. You did. Sorry, Cliff.
Well, I would just say that you've got 12 hours a week where you can talk about LH Rostog. And you don't, and you know, it's not. I don't have 12 hours to talk to you. And let's get back to the issues that we were going to talk about.
Okay, sir. You should know, folks. He said, you know, now he was cool. He came on my broadcast. It got taken down for nudity. So it's only fair that because his last stream wasn't so good. It wasn't his fault. So anyway, here I am, and I'll talk about anything you want, sir. I just saw that comment by that late homosexual Ross dog, and by the way, he's the one who tried to make fun of me crying over my dead best friend Sean. You know, hey, I brought up the name without crying. See? Sorry, Click. What
Maybe
was the
you're
question?
over it now.
I'm not over it. That's okay. You know. Hey,
Okay.
Click.
What?
Click,
What?
man.
Can you hear me or what? What's going on?
You went off for a while. Look, let me just ask you one question. You might say no, and we'll get on to whenever you want. But since I brought up crying, have you ever cried in your life, Click?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have.
And what was it?
Oh, let's see. The last thing. Last thing
My
was
point.
over a relationship thing with my old lady, for sure. I'm not going to get any deeper into it than that, but yeah. You know, I had some shit going on, and it was emotional, and you know, I fucking just snapped, and I will cry like that when because honestly, what's sadness? At the end of the day, it's like anger that you can't fucking displace. It's like, because if you were just angry, you'd just be angry, right? You'd have something to channel all that frustration and shit at.
I was probably
hold
had
on,
some
hold on.
anger about not.
Let me finish real
Okay.
quick. So, like, you know, if you don't have an outlet though, or like, let's say it's yourself that you're mad at. Some people self-hurt, but some people, you know, it's just like you can't take it. You're like, it's like an ultimate level of frustration. Crying is, right. I feel like that's why, you know, about reversion. Like when two people start arguing, the first thing they'll start doing is like, you know, if you're an adult, usually an educated, let's say even adult, you'd reason, right? You'd try to use logic and reason. And if that didn't work, then you'd revert a little bit and you'd go to, oh, what did I do when I was 13? I'd argue with my parents. Okay, that didn't work. Now I'm going to go back to when I was a toddler and I would punch, you know, or hit somebody as a kid if I didn't get my way. Oh, that's not working. Now I'm just going to sit here and cry like a fucking infant, right?
Well, I wanted to interrupt you because I didn't agree.
Oh, you can
with
wait.
You,
You
that
have a
was-
memory. You can you can let somebody finish their statement and then go ahead.
I can, if it's a foolish statement and I don't agree with it, I
Well,
can
hold on to
interrupt.
your hat and
But I'll
then
wait.
and then say it.
I don't. Okay, man, go.
No, I'm saying you can respond. Go ahead. I just wanted to finish my point before you thought I was done.
Well, it wasn't a complete point. That's my point. The kind of crying you described is righteous and true to yourself, but I have a different kind of sadness. Mine is for a loss. If there's any anger, maybe
No,
it's
no, no,
anger
no,
that
Sam.
I
You
didn't.
missed the whole point. My diatribe was a response to you asking if I've ever cried, and I was relating it to why I cried.
Kind of crying I thought one could relate to is about sadness. The kind of crying you just described has to do with anger. Don't you get it, sir?
No,
Don't you get it?
not according to the way I feel. Right? Crying in
Wait.
itself is a pointless endeavor. So why try to reason it? There's
Interested
no
right now because look who came in our room. Did you see who came in, man? One of my favorite people.
No, he don't like you anymore. Actually, Cosmic was talking shit earlier.
Put words in his mouth. Let him speak,
I'm waiting for him.
sir.
He's crossing.
Hello, how's it going? Whoa, am I on Pop Vulture? Am I coming in okay, guys?
Yep, you sound good, man.
Okay, what's going on? Sam Hill, what was that retarded Renaissance thing you were doing in the beginning of the show? I didn't understand. You sounded like Prince Henry's fucking retarded cousin. What was going on?
Oh, what a mean thing to say.
Well, you know, Sam, I like you, but I get to not like a bit, right? There's not everything I'm gonna do you're gonna like.
Okay,
Not
guys,
everything you're gonna do am I gonna
here-
like.
Here's my point, sir. Shakespeare to me is not a bit. It's beautiful language, just like when you go into your spiritual self, I'm sure you have the language of different perceptions.
Hold
It's
on,
not a
Sam.
bit.
Sam, I can't hear you. I think there's something in the
Late
background.
homosexual came in. His
Hey,
name
clickbait. Is there something wrong with the
Rothbard.
audio? I hear some static or something.
No.
Man, you
Oh,
ran away.
okay.
You ran away.
I mean, I
Rothbard
guess.
ran away.
But I'm also, I do some guided meditations, and I don't always like them. I always go, this one was stupid. You know, even if it's sacred and special and came from an old book, it doesn't mean I cannot like it. Maybe if you recited some other literature from Shakespeare, maybe I would have liked it. Maybe I
Sir,
would have
here-
liked it, Sam. It's just a disagreement.
Right, and I don't disagree with you, but here's my point.
It was mediocre,
Sir, we
like
haven't-
my stream, like the other night.
Oh no, Sam, you were talking shit about Clickstream. What was all that
Yeah,
about?
so it was mediocre, just like mine.
Sir,
Join the club.
let me make my point.
No, go ahead,
Than
Sam.
yours.
Make your point.
Thank you for your permission answering what I'd like to say. Listen.
something? Can I?
Oh, here's a little depressed,
Can-
boring
can I
Rostock who used to be funny, and he's been depressed. Hey,
Rostock,
how's the
destroy
dye
him.
job going there, you little old queen?
Queen.
Clickbait, can you tell Sam?
Look at his improv skills. Why? Well, I don't wonder why a plumber isn't so wise. I know why he's a bully and a brute, and people are afraid to talk truth in front of him. Oh, listen to more of his wonderful humor. Oh, he ran away, folks. Dating homosexual ran away.
It's just, I think that the Shakespeare was a little drab.
Okay, here's my point. Before I was interrupted by a latent homosexual man named Rostock, I'm sincere. Now, I've said good things about you, Cosmic Cam, because you deserve it. You are righteous over at Making Lemonade, and I've seen you, man, and I dig you, man, and I've been saying good things about you. So we haven't talked in so long, and I'm just curious that you could have come in with the first comment, many different kinds of comments like, hey, Samuel, how you doing? But you chose to come in with that super critical, subjective comment
All
of
right,
me
well-
trying to entertain with a little Shakespeare.
Well, you know, I feel like you're persecuting me over a simple social faux pas. You know, I'm sorry. Maybe I would have said, "Hey, Sam, I hope you're doing wonderful. By the way, this fucking this Dungeons and Dragons shit sucks." I mean, maybe I should have said that. You know, "Hey, Sam, how you doing? This is terrible."
That's embarrassing enough.
You know, I mean, some people get tongue-tied.
Let me ask you something I wanted to ask you for a year. Because I finally have you here, Cosmic, right?
I'm right here. I'm in your grass. Go ahead. Give it to me.
So, I'm going to give you the truth of this question, and
Give
you
it to
listen
him.
there, man. So, for a year, Cosmic, a year ago, came on and said he had a life-changing event for real. After this event, he said his whole cognitive thinking changed. It affected his life, and no one, at least I didn't watch every one of your episodes, so I wanted to ask you, Cos, what happened? Was that involving a car and your friend died? And what was that process? What had you been before? And what did you become?
Can we just all agree that any form
He's muted himself. I don't know why. I was asking a
I'm
real...
sorry. I'm sorry. I think I got most of your question. But I was getting a phone call over Discord for some weird reason.
Fuck it.
But,
Go over here now, man.
You know, it's just, you know, I mean, it's kind of like you said, it's just like a near-death experience. Kind of very similar to, like a lot of shaman, they have near-death experiences, you know, where it's just like, I don't know, it changes the way you perceive life and you don't know what's real anymore. You know, before when I would hallucinate, I would think, well, this is a process of the brain because I took a certain dosage of chemicals and they're showing me some side effect. Then whenever I had my out-of-body experience, then I was like, well, there's something to maybe the mythical aspects of the consciousness. Maybe there's something to this psychedelic plane that you can visit when you're on certain, you know, psychedelic plants. So I've just started looking more deeply into it.
You know what I find though, Cosmic?
You know the story. What
I
happened?
find drugs, like, no matter what it is, even pot, it's very simple. It's just an escape. Reality might be boring or painful or whatever, and it just helps you take a break from
again,
it.
Folks. You're wrong.
Oh, fuck off, Sam. Eat my nuts.
Oh, you fuck off, man.
But isn't the world, isn't everything? I mean, what are we supposed to be doing? You're saying the word escape like we're supposed to be doing something. Where are the rules at that say this is what we're supposed to be doing when we're on the planet?
Well, why not just be grounded in reality? Why do we do it?
Because this is
why
just
do we
one
watch? It's like why we
reality.
watch
There's different kinds
movies,
of
you know,
reality,
and why we
man.
play video games.
Yeah,
It is an
but
escape.
you're not
escape.
changing the chemical makeup of your brain when you watch a movie. Maybe slightly, maybe just because you have
but
endorphins.
you're becoming depressed.
Changing all the time, and that's
You don't feel your emotions change when you listen to different music. You know, you don't ever get hype when you listen to some music and then get sad when you listen to others.
But what I'm saying is, like, could I achieve that without the substance? Maybe. It would just take more focus.
But you'd be
right?
doing something, though. I feel like you'd be doing something. Like, you can have kind of a buzz and kind of achieve psychedelic states with breathing techniques, but instead of taking a mushroom, you're just breathing, you know?
I guess
So
it's
just
peaks
like
and
you
valleys.
got to do something.
It's instead like reality
Peaks
is
and
just like a
valleys of
steady
bullshit.
plane, and it's easy to fucking, like, when you're clear headed,
we're
when you
on a
don't do
plane.
shit. Come on, Sam, you're interrupting like a motherfucker, bro. What's wrong with you tonight?
Sam, shut the fuck up.
I'm just curious about
All right,
people who
Sam,
don't
you go
do
ahead and talk,
anything.
bro.
You know, people who just paint model cars and they don't do anything. I'm curious about those folks.
Oh my god, I'm scared to talk
I
now.
just wanted-
I'm gonna. Sam's gonna
Oh,
say,
you're right.
no, that's
You're
wrong. What?
Just wanted to correct something, and then I'll shut the fuck up.
What's your weighing your 2 cents,
Thank
Sam?
you.
Go ahead.
Something wrong. I want to point that out. Now he's not completely wrong.
You're wrong.
We
You're wrong.
get it.
You're wrong.
Just get to the point. Just get to it, Sam. You don't have to. You don't have
I'm
to give
not
us the
going to say it how
preamble.
you want me to say it, man. I'm going to say it how I want to say it.
Fair
Now,
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, of course it's fair. It's correct. Now, he's right when he said some people use it for escape.
Get to the point
But-
already.
Oh, you shut the fuck up. You didn't say it better. So the point is, not everybody goes to it for escape. That's all. People go to it for different reasons.
And what are those reasons?
No, that's bullshit.
Hey, now you go.
But
What are those-
feel like
no,
I'm
you said other
escaping- I feel
reasons.
like
What
I'm
are the re-
escaping whenever I paint? If I go painting or if I go swimming, I feel like or I go hiking. When I go hiking in the woods, am I escaping from the everyday grind? You know, I'm breaking out and I'm going and
Yeah, I'm
taking a
not
run in
saying
the
it's
woods.
necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely a break. It's a break from reality. It's an escape. It's a vacation's the same thing, right, Sam? I mean,
I would say it's a discovery. When I took it, it was to discover a different reality. And I think Cosmic, what don't you agree with that,
Well, that's
man?
different. That's the difference. Like that's very rare though, because like most people who take psychedelics in America, they're doing it recreationally, not like sacramentally. Not doing it for like a sacrament. You know, most people are
I
popping
get
a hit of acid and playing video games. So that kind of gets
I
put in the
can't
same
speak for
category.
everyone else, cause I can
Yeah,
only
but there's
speak for
definitely people
myself.
out there who do it for exploration. You know, sometimes I do it and I want to have fun and listen to music and dance around, and then sometimes I do the eye shades and I lay in my bed for 5 hours.
but see,
you know?
see, there's a difference between somebody doing it one time and then being like, "Wow, my whole perspective on life has been shattered, and now I can think this way about certain things," and versus, "Hey, okay, I've got to get this every week or every day." You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about.
That's
People
the
who do it that
addiction,
way.
but then addiction can come in the form of everything. You know, like gambling and jerking off. You know.
Oh, exactly. That's a break from reality. Like prostitution, strippers, all that shit, right?
So what is reality? Reality is acquisition of materials and making love with bitches. I mean,
That's a
really
good
all
point.
life
That's a
is
fucking
ga-
great point, man.
gathering money and things and fucking women. Because you keep saying a break from reality. Well, what's the rule? What are we taking a break? You're saying it like we're taking a break, like we're doing a job.
No,
Okay,
so
when we're
I
not
guess
on
what I would
break,
say,
what are we doing?
Cosmic,
Going to work?
is I would differentiate the two. Gambling and shit like that, that might be your reality. So I'm not saying that that's like drugs are definitely different. Drugs, alcohol,
Well,
that's a different type of escape from reality. That's
yeah,
a
there's always an
substance escape.
exception to the rule, but we're talking in general. Most people don't. Their career isn't gambling. Most people are
Right.
taking their retirement checks or their social security checks and wasting it in these Native American joints.
But yeah, I'm saying like the people who I guess
I don't know if I'd
addicts,
agree with that.
like the in the sense I guess whatever that's not a typical reality for most people. Like only scoring and only fucking gambling, wasting every last dollar you have on a prostitute. Like that's very few people's reality. But it is
Yeah,
still
but you
their
ever watch
reality.
videos about like professional poker players? Their life seems pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I have seen that like on like MTV True Life and shit like that. There was
See
a
like a
kid that
young
was
like 22-year-old and
Yep.
shit, and you're like,
You
fuck,
guys
dude.
have gotten off a track. Oh, look, what we're addicted to is pleasure, the pleasure principle, like with sex, and sometimes it might be a functional addiction if it works for you.
Yeah,
Like
but
if you-
when you're
Not
talking about
everybody,
pleasure, you're
though.
talking about a dump of serotonin. And even whenever so when we're taking a break and we're smoking weed, we're getting a dump of serotonin. But whenever I get done cleaning windows today and I clean more windows than I thought I was going to clean and I made more money than I thought I was going to make, I also have a
Right.
dump of serotonin,
Yep.
you know?
That's
But-
what
but
that's what
look,
takes
but-
the
but-
separation
but-
is.
But
Go ahead.
But look, man, the shaman, and you can correct me, Cosmic, might say that one can get pleasure in many
Wrong.
different. Okay, go Cosmic.
I
or
just
go
wanted to
ahead.
point out when you were wrong. Go ahead.
Am I wrong? Was I wrong, sir?
No, you said just something about shamans, and I don't think you're right about that.
Wait, so Shaman
What
would say
is
we can
wrong
get
about
we can
what
get
I'm
pleasure.
I just
from
wanted to
what,
show you
though?
how annoying it was. Go on.
You,
I won't
you
say
just
anything
wanted
else.
to fuck
He's
me up.
being
That's
I
what you
did.
said.
I did.
Oh no.
And I did.
What I'm
Let's
what
get
I'm
back on.
saying is,
Yeah.
maybe what Cosmic could say, and he'll correct me, is we can get pleasure in different ways. It doesn't have to be the instant pleasure of buying something. It could be pleasure in nature. It could be pleasure in the beautiful buttocks of a beautiful woman, or in Ross's case, a male. So that's all I'm saying. Part of the
Jesus.
part of what one wants to find out is
Sam,
where
fight
you
him.
find-
Sam, let's settle this. Ready?
Oh shit. Click. Let's step out of it.
I'm out.
Go ahead.
You started,
Go
latent
ahead.
homosexual man. Go.
Go ahead.
go first.
That's what
Women
I thought.
first.
All right, Bellin's in
He
here.
dropped her
man,
right
you
out. Damn it, Bellin.
All right, you guys talk for a minute. I'll be back. I gotta investigate something.
Bellin, anything to bring to the conversation? Anything to bring to the program?
This beautiful breasts.
Eaten about 70 or so of these 10 milligram edible gummies.
So you're dying right now. Is what you're
Nice,
saying.
man. They come in each one. A whole bunch of them only make 10. So you must be feeling good, man.
So you're almost on the borderline of a panic attack, is what you're telling us.
Come in. I wanted to see if this was a replay or not because I
It's a
wasn't.
replay, man. We're replaying this
Boy,
right now.
This ain't a replay, son. This is real life right now. We live right here. You living with us. Our hearts are beating. Where's your heart at?
You here, man, with the shaman, and you with me. So you getting the good and the bad.
What are you saying?
Dead air.
Aiming to
Oh, Cosmic has his side that maybe a lot of people don't know about,
I have
but
a
I know
sweet,
because I
sensitive,
listen.
tender side that Bellin knows nothing about. Bellin's over there goofed up on gummy
Yeah, he
bears.
knows.
He
Yeah,
took about 70. That's not good because they're 10 milligrams each.
If you take 40, man, you're feeling pretty good for most people. He's taking way more than
Oh
that.
yeah, he took the 700. That's whenever once you go over 450,
wait, how
you're
much?
getting real dangerous. What? Hold
Seven.
on.
What?
them throughout the day.
Oh, throughout the day. Okay.
And 40.
Things in the asshole, but if you're putting your tongue on an asshole, I don't care if it's a girl or a guy. You're tasting shit. That's what you're getting.
Go ahead, Sam. Let him have it.
I'll go with Ross Dog. Ross Dog, I worked
Let me
my
have
butt
it.
off for
Let
you,
me
and we
hear it.
did good work together, man. And I put on 2 shows, and Ross Dog says I'm no good. Well, I was good enough that you kept giving me opportunities. You kept giving me opportunities, and then you quit, and you got mean, and you made up things. You quit, man. You quit, man. Go. Oh, you ran away? Sad. Sad to me.
Well, Ross Dog ran away. Looks like Sam won that one.
I want to
Sam,
win.
looks
I
like
just
you got
wanted to
that
tell
right.
the truth. Cosmic.
Whoa. I mean, this is between you and Ross. This is deep right here.
Right. You're right. Hey, Bellin, look, I'm, Cos, if you take 40, I've taken like gummy bears before, and it felt kind of high. So, Bellin, you took, I'm talking about 40, so you took like 700?
Yeah, 70 gummy bears, 10 milligrams each throughout the day.
What happened?
Oh, man. So, how you doing there, Bellin?
Did you kick me out? Sam, start over.
Okay, Sam, start over. Give it to Ross.
So going from talking about a cool thing that Bellin's going through, feeling groovy, I have to come back to deal with this latent homosexual man. Okay,
Yeah,
you go,
you've been
Ross.
calling,
I
you've been
answered you.
asking
Your
for
turn,
it.
you little
Go
fuck.
ahead. I'm
Go ahead.
still waiting on you to have one turn.
Still waiting on you to have what, man?
Is that how you do, Jimmy?
What I want you to notice about Ross Dog is he has his gravelly voice. Oh, and he's kind of cool for here, but he also has a lisp. Notice when he says his S's, which is weird because that's why he attacks Sanzi. He keeps going off. Cosmic, I don't know, man. You tell me what
So
to
you're
do,
saying
man.
Ross has a lisp like Sans? I don't know. I never
It's
heard it
bad.
before.
Well, next time he
I'll
comes
pay
on,
attention.
pay attention.
I'm paying attention now. Jesus.
We were
What
talking,
happened?
I wouldn't mind having 700. It's been a long time, Bellin. So, he's muted himself, but I kind of like hearing about what he's experienced.
Well, he's having a panic attack right now, Sam.
Really? Then he should talk to you.
Sam, they're saying that you made up the lisp. The lisp thing is a fabricated. Tom said
Listen and
this.
tell me. Maybe I'm getting. What is chat saying? What is that there chat saying? I respect the chat.
Tom said a lisp, question mark, LOL. He just made that
Listen
up.
when Rob talk, well, listen to when he talks to the S. And then you tell me Tom, St. Thomas, a great guy, but maybe on this point he's got it wrong. We'll find out.
But don't worry. He condones bold-faced lies and smears. So go for it. He likes the lisp thing.
Cosmic.
Uh-oh, Rostock is back.
Cosmic. It's funny. Ross
Yes,
can
it
be
was.
funny.
Because you know who else has one?
Yes.
Saiyan Z. Watch your S's around Sam, guys. He is
I
on.
think Cosmic is more interesting than talking about that sexually deviant, horrible, drunk, anti-white, bigoted scum parasitical.
Rossdog?
Yeah. No, I was talking about Sans.
Oh, okay.
Rossdog has a decent side. He's a good father. He's good to his wife. He's not good to other people, and he's a loner, and he really doesn't like people too much, and he makes fun of people crying about their dead best
He's good to the CEO. He's good to. He's a very loyal. He's very loyal.
Listen, I'm getting serious. Now I said Rossdog had good and bad, just like me, but CEO has no good side. There's nothing good about him. Now, he used to be funny, and then he took all these pills, and he's a limp dick now. This is why he's so bad, folks.
I
And
hope
see
so.
if I'm speaking truth. Well, you don't hope so. It'll be so. Just listen, you little fuck.
I'm listening.
So, see, there's a rule, and I was around Ross.
Oh, wait, Sam, hold on, Sam. Why the fuck do you get so aggressive with people who are your friends?
Because I'm mad at what.
No, I just feel like you coming at my boy sideways and shit, and I
He's
just
a-
like
he's
it's
a
like
fuck
the third
boy.
strike. You about to be out of here, kid. Third strike, it's like that. You know what I'm saying, Sam? So just cool it down, bruh.
He's disrespectful, Cosmic.
Fuck you. Fuck. Yeah.
I mean, I'll still let him on, but he's disrespectful. That's the easiest way to sum it up.
Good point,
Not disrespectful too.
Everybody.
I'm just
no,
saying,
I'm not.
Sam.
You're
I'm
wrong,
just
man.
saying, Sam. You can give people a chance to speak, bruh.
Okay, speak.
He's a lady in the sheets, like in DMs, and then he's a freak in the streets. That's what he is.
That's what's really behind all this, Sam.
That was funny.
You're out here in the streams just going wild. That's what's going on. But you and host, that y'all put on some good pod.
Oh, I'm being wild, man. This is so wild, you guys. Aren't we just having a wild time?
All right, go ahead. What were you talking about, though, anyway? Even though you are disrespectful.
I'm disrespectful.
I allow it. I allow it. There's a certain amount of disrespect I'll take from you, sir, because you're because you do promote me. It's a quid pro pro, right? With you and I.
How am I supposed to go on, folks? He's censoring me. I'm just being myself. What this man lecturing me clickbait?
What?
He's called me all kinds of names, and now
All right, Sam. Can we just agree to disagree and move on? You know, like gentlemen, like scholars.
Go on, Cosmic. Go listen. Go.
You know, I just think that sometimes, when I'm looking at porn and I'm just into the same fetishes, it's just like I'm looking through the pages and I'm like, I feel like I've watched all this already. You know? But do you ever not like a thumbnail, but then you eventually click on the video and you go, oh, this was a great video. Why was I judging it by the thumbnail? It's like you ever get a thumbnail can fuck up a good porn. You know what I'm saying? Like a bad thumbnail can fuck up.
You know what I've learned? You know what I've learned, dude?
Thumbnail.
A porn, any porn that's over 15 minutes long is not good. It's not worth the time. Because it's like they're going for quantity instead of quality. There's no way that it's like a half hour of just fire and gold porn, It's like unless it's a compilation.
Stretching.
Unless it's a compilation of 50 different things going on. But
they're leaning on the camera, just biting away for time.
Right.
Right.
It's just like a one camera shot going on there. And it's just a guy humping his wife and you can't even see what's going on. You're like, nah. I'm gonna look for that fucking 9-minute video.
Yeah, I would have stuffed all the action into it.
Right. There's a nice arc. There's a beginning, middle, end. What was that, Sam? I'm sorry.
So Sam, How do you feel about erotic literature, Sam? I've never gotten into it. I feel like you're a man who's might have jerked off to some
Listen,
erotic
man,
literature in your young days. Go ahead, Sam.
You brought up something that connected with me because I was going to do it on the show. Now you brought up fetish, and I was going to do the top 10 Ask Men list on kinks. So you guys, let's get into it, man. So I don't waste what I was going to use before Helen shut us down. So you guys, let's go through the list. What do you think is the top fetish?
Feet.
I know what it is, I think, and I'll explain to you why it's fucked up. But it's probably like stepmom or MILF, right?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was
It's
right.
Number one is feet.
I mean, it's okay, but that's kind of soft.
I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. I've never been able to jerk off to no foot shit. That always gets me out of it.
You know what it is?
Man.
They like the dirty
biologic
feet.
urge.
They like the dirty feet, Sam. That's what it is. Like, if your chick's got clean feet, it doesn't make sense, right? But
Specialists, I'm sure. 1/3 get off on the smell.
What? Oh, Jesus. What came in on hot number 2? I can't work with feet. I mean, Jesus.
Because what I wanted to say was, what rationale beyond biology or hormones? I mean, look at the female buttocks. Look at it on a different species. They're gross, man, but there's something about our biology that when I look at that female buttocks or the boobies, just something goes off, and that's what I'm saying. I think with these fetishes, somehow it became mixed up with maybe biology, and to us it's just feet, but to them, they go off on it. They get off on it, Cause. What do you think,
Some
man?
sort of erogenous zone. Must be some childhood situation where feet were involved and they just kind of got connected, you know, some things. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody was getting their first hand job and had some fuzzy socks on. You know, who knows? They were wearing some
Probably
slippers.
right. You're talking about association in childhood. I think you're probably right. Do you have before we move on to number 2, do you have a fetish you can talk about there, Cosmic?
Well, let's see what happens. We'll probably run into my fetish around here. But yeah, any feet experience? Anybody got any feet experience? Anybody with some first-hand feet experience?
Yeah,
Click.
come on, man.
You jerking off to feet?
I don't have to pay, like, if you go and charge.
Bellin just unmuted himself. Bellin, go ahead. Tell us about how you masturbate to feet.
He's really
I
high.
just want to say that I'm feeling pretty good right now.
All right.
Oh, you feel better? Because you were too high at one point, right? You get there with those edibles. To me, it just feels like taking like a bunch of ibuprofen when you get that. Like, I mean, and being very, very high. Body, you just like can't take it.
I get so high I can't talk. Words won't come out. I get so.
Really?
People would probably like that, like you guys.
I was just about to
You
say,
get
has that
high,
never
man.
happened? Is that what those
Yeah.
cringe moments
Not
come
only that-
from?
Not only with like marijuana, but I said I had this girlfriend and she was crazy and she would take this Lexo, like what CEO, the kid hater takes, and so I tried it once and I couldn't talk. It made me so high, no words came out, and she liked it because, you know, I can talk on and on. She wanted me to take it again. So yeah.
Sam, what do you think's worse, the Australia fires or 9/11?
Oh, that's wow. What do you think?
I asked you first, then I'll go after you.
Oh, you guys get mad at me for talking too much. I was gonna.
No,
give you-
this is I wouldn't ask you if I didn't want to know what you meant. All right, Cosmic, go ahead.
Clearly 9/11's worse. Forget about those kangaroos and koalas and shit. Fuck them.
So much for the shaman, folks. That side is not coming out tonight.
You know, I have to agree.
What am I supposed to do, guys? Every tragedy is equally tragic, and that's not funny, Sam.
All you have
It's
to
funny
do
to
is
say
answer-
fuck koalas.
That's what you're supposed to do. That was a good question. It's like the number of death versus the death of a psyche. Cosmic. 9/11, it was horrible, but it hurt like freedom, like liberties. And Cosmic is the man, maybe to speak on liberties, because he went to jail. Cosmic did, rather than give
And
up the
stood up.
liberty.
Didn't let him
And
take
when-
my name. You're right.
When the
I
guy
love that
tried to
story.
take his
No, I mean-
turkey off his plate, he wasn't having that either.
I wasn't having it. It was Turkey Day. I was on there on Christmas,
Oh,
and they were
man,
handing
don't
out
cheapen
double
what
turkey trays.
Dude.
I remember
So,
that
Sam,
being
what's
one of
the
your.
second-
You were talking to me, Ross, and a few other people, and you were like, "You
Yeah.
motherfuckers might sit down and let that motherfucker eat off your plate and not say a goddamn word." But guess what? I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna say something to him, and I'm trying to relate.
Fucking punch- we were talking about Jimmernam leaving Jimmernam.
Oh,
alone.
yeah,
Like,
that's
nah,
what it was about.
There is no leaving Jimmernam alone. He just took our plate off our food. Tomorrow when we come into the chow hall, I'm gonna stand up and punch him in the face. Like, and Ross Dog, Donnie was like, "Come on, guys. I mean, why even do it? Why even get involved? I don't fucking get why even talk about the fucking guy."
Doesn't sound like Don at all.
I know it doesn't sound like Don, but
I think it was a spot on. It was spot on, to be honest.
I said
A for
gabagoo.
effort. I thought it was terrible, but I couldn't do it. A for
Come on,
effort.
let's hear your impression. Come on, Sam.
Go.
So the second fetish is
Oh,
called impact.
boo.
Okay, I'll try it. I know it's going to be bad. Let me think of a line Donnie says. Okay, I'm going to... Hey! You know how it goes? Hey.
Isn't there? There's gotta be more than that.
He just made a noise.
You gotta do more than that.
Some words.
All right, how
give me
about
some words?
how about I'm really big into the NLP, cuz.
Trouble saying NLP. Give me something.
Racist.
Say shit. What's he say?
Hey,
welcome to
he's
welcome to
arguing
late
now.
night live stream. It's Don A.
Okay. Hey, welcome. Okay. Hey, welcome to Late Night On. Tried, man. I tried.
So the Sam Hill
Wow.
Don just sounds like an idiot.
I think that was pretty
Man,
much
my
dead on.
impression does. I sound like a good sport.
I would say it sounds closer to like a Stallone than a Don A.
It was bad. It was really bad. As I said it, man, it was bad. I tried.
That was
Try, man.
you might
I
do
like
a good
his
Rambo.
first attempt. Sam just went, "Ugh."
It was hilarious, man. You should do more impressions. That should be like if I do a stream, you should have one impression ready for every show.
Well,
Do
It's
like
easy
I
to say
what?
because you do wonderful impressions. Look,
Why am
folks,
I
he can
on
do the
here?
best Don A impression. Show him. I did it for you, Click. So you show him what I'm talking about. How good you do it.
You want me to do a Belland impression since he just left?
Well, do a couple, man. Play the monkey and do the impressions. You do it good. Do
I don't
Don
even
A.
know. Let me see.
That's my bell and
I don't know why I'm on here. Nah, I can't do Bellin. Bellin's hard. Let me see if I can do a Mark Glista. Hey guys, it's like I never even left. I see, I'm horrible too, man. No, that's
That one
bad.
was-
That was
that
bad.
not bad.
Nobody knows who he is. Except
Mark
a couple
Lista
people
sounded a
listening.
little bit more gruff this last time we heard him. I don't know if y'all picked up on that, but last time he was on, he sounded a little bit more like Ross Dog. You know, he sounded a little bit gruff.
More gruff to him, yeah. He lived a life, like he's been places and done things.
Yeah, it sounds like he's splitting up with his wife or something. It sounds like he's been living in one of his rent houses.
He lost his wife streaming. God damn it. It happens to
Fucking
the look at
40
Doug.
and white and lost his wife. Yeah, it happened to Doug.
Doug was a professional, and he fell off his pedestal to.
You know what was great about the organic, lovely story of Doug is I don't know if you really remember, but when Doug first came on the streams, we were like all envious of him because he was like, "Hey guys, I work on a farm with my 2 kids and my wife, and I have a dog and a
Yeah, it was
tooth story
happy.
and a nice." And everybody was like, "God damn it, Doug, you have the fucking life! Like you fucking work on a farm and have a nice house and."
No, listen.
And like in
But
6
Doc, remember,
months,
he put his hand in a cow's vagina.
Yeah.
and
Oh no, he
that ran
remember.
away pretty quick. That ended.
Remember, yeah, he was like, we were like, "What do you do for work? You must work hard." He was like, "No, I feed baby cows." Because remember, he was doing that for a while. He was delivering them, putting his hand in them, maybe even inseminating them. But I remember his whole thing
Hand
was,
in a cow's vagina.
God damn it,
feed
Doug, that's a
cows.
male cow.
But yeah, and like in 6 months, that whole like envious life just completely fell apart. It was beautiful. It wasn't a bit. It just naturally came
Right.
on, had a great life. And,
and
over
he's
6 months,
he's hiding from the wife. He's doing the streams and like you can hear that fucking like
drunker.
wait, you can hear that fucking Mexican bitch or whatever the fuck where's she from? El Salvador. She's like,
Yeah,
dog,
yeah.
what are you doing? Stop. I'm doing my
That's what she sounded
stream. Yeah, she sounded
good.
like Guadalupe or whatever. What's that chick off the fucking Family Guy?
The Simpsons, yeah. Oh man, and then it got to the point where he would just come into the stream already drunk, and he'd just be mumbling to himself.
It's a drunk talking to another drunk. Yeah, man.
One of my favorite quotes from him was, "Yeah, I'm on Discord 24/7. Just come at me, Doug Philippi, and I'm on Facebook too. You can look me up." I'm like, "Oh, you dumb fuck! What you doing, dude? I have kids. They're on my Facebook page. You can look at them."
I never envied anybody who came on that show. And here's this
Richie
guy,
Ross.
folks. He doesn't have a job. He's stupid. He's ugly. He's talking about he's got all these bitches. And the thing is, he's berating all these people in chat for being white because they're white. And like he doesn't get like, man, who are you to give advice on anything? Nobody wants to be like you, Sans. Is that part of why people watch there? Probably. Like you don't have to be, here's a guy you don't have to be jealous of. He's so pathetic.
Who do you dislike more, Sanzi or Helen DeKellar?
It's no contest. Sans is the worst in the whole universe.
All right, Helen, you're gonna have to try harder, I guess.
I don't hate Helen. Okay, you asked me 20 minutes ago, so let me answer. Or someone in chat asked me about Helen. If you did, do I hate? No, I don't hate Helen. I don't hate Helen at all because he says he's a troll. No, I hate what he did because he affected Ghostbusters, and now people get bored and they don't have I was going to go 15 hours and I was going to tell good stuff, and clickbait was on the best guest there is now, and he deprived those people of watching like you guys in chat. So I hate him, no, because people in the universe who've been around know he's a troll. Why? Because he says he's a troll. But Hostbusters didn't know that, and because Hostbusters is a decent guy, he was curious why this guy's a little pervert, and Helen says he's a pervert, and he lied. He asked this chick, I said, or someone asked, how did this come about, man? What age? And Helen goes into a lie. And anyway, I don't hate Helen. In fact, it's like a villain. I gotta give credit. Someone said Helen is the best troll in the whole universe. You know what, you guys? I agree with you.
He's good. And I think that was his intention.
Good.
I'll say it.
Okay.
I think it was malicious. I think the weenie shaking was malicious. Not on Ross's stream necessarily, but yours, I think. I think he was.
Click listens, and this is why I say I agree with Click, because he told us he wanted to fuck me up. But
he hurt you.
This is why he's such a creep. It's not just me he fucked up. It's a whole lot of other people.
It was like Pearl Harbor.
It was just me and him. Pearl Harbor. Yeah, it was like Pearl Harbor.
I mean, at what point are you just gonna give him a segment on your show to do that? Because that's what like Frank DeRosa does now. He just dedicates 4 minutes for Helen to come on and shake his dick on stream.
That's horrible.
No, look, cause he had that and nobody watched. He had that 24-hour, and that's what he would do. Like that, and folks, some people think a guy vomiting and showing pus and masturbating, okay, that's probably a few of you, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I like seeing attractive things, and I like hearing intelligent minds and conversation like Cosmic and Click, but if you want that, man, I'm sure you can find that in somewhere. If you want to see ugly things, there's a whole lot of that going on. I don't want that, man.
You know who does read a lot of books? Cosmic.
Dirty Rob.
Cosmic reads a lot of books.
Oh yeah, I'm a bookhead. I go to the library still.
Cosmic.
Uh-huh.
Did you read A Separate Reality? I think we talked about that once.
I think you told me about that book, but I don't think I ever read it. You said a book. Remember, you were making fun of me when I was in the chat, and he said Doors of Perception. You ever read that book?
I think Morrison took his name. Is that Huxley?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, that's where the Doors took their name from, dude. You know that?
I wasn't aware.
Learn something, man. The shaman learned something from the dummy.
Yeah. Nah, we're all teachers and students, Sam. That's the truth, man.
I believe
the wise
that.
man knows himself to be a fool.
Cosmic. I'm interested in change, and that's why I become a therapist, because most people say they don't want to change, but it turns out they just don't want to do the work. So Cosmic made a change, and it kind of fits in with the simple theory that people change due to trauma, maybe meaning something huge in their life, and that's why I was interested in the change that this man, it affected his life. Before that car accident, he said he went around a different man. So to me, because I want to change too, I want my life to get better, and he's a shaman who's supposed to share this kind of wisdom.
Do you think the goal to life is to just be happy, right? Like, is that your goal, Sam, or Cosmic?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I think it's contentment. To be content.
But like to be happy is the goal, though, right? Like, I mean, that's what everybody.
Yeah,
but like happiness, like for instance, if you want to be happy, there's a lot of things like you could do that would be selfish. But at the end of the day, if you're guilty about that selfishness, and then your overall happiness, and your overall happiness gets.
That's why we can't just sit on the streets and do heroin all day.
Right. Some people are willing to make that jump though, and say, you know what? It doesn't bother, the guilt doesn't bother me, and I have 3 kids, I can just abandon them, and so I feel like everybody's goal is to be happy, but they get lost, they get muddled, and they're like shit.
I like Cosmic's answer better, because happiness is just remembered moments. It's a transitory thing, whereas contentment is more a state of feeling as you go through the world. I think that's a wonderful definition, by the way, Cosmic. That's what I'd like to achieve.
I don't know, but then our Constitution does say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
If you're a white man, if you're a black man.
yeah, I guess.
Well, you know what happiness used to be? I think it used to be land. I think if I remember right, it used to be written as life, liberty, and land, and then they changed it to happiness.
Pursuit of property.
Basically,
I never knew that, man.
They ran out of land, so you guys go and get that happiness, though.
Someone can fact check me in the chat, but I remember that being.
You have to be a landowner to vote. Or you had to have some amount of money.
You had to
be white too, and a man.
A man.
So it was.
Sorry, Rostock.
It was rigged, definitely rigged back then. It just sucked.
Yeah, but that's all.
Fucking
I don't think there was anywhere in the world at the time that was any better, though. You know.
No.
Everywhere else in the world at the time pretty much was doing the same thing. Look, the majority that is in this country, they get to speak and they get to vote and they get to have all the rights. And women, I mean, where in the world were women being treated properly at the time?
Women were only given that vote because of so many things were pushed through, because they said, listen, if we get the women to vote, I'll get all of these women on board with this issue, like this law. And so everybody was like, hell yeah, I'm on board with that.
They didn't do it right. They didn't know they're classical Greeks. The name of the play, but there's a class, it's Medina or something like that, where to get what they wanted, the women just refused to fuck the men, and that's all they had to do back then, man. Now they say, you don't let me vote, I don't fuck you. That's a powerful tool.
Yeah, right. But then they try to get women to band together against men during like the prohibition. Like any lips that touch whiskey don't touch our lips. It used to be like a saying around in America where they're trying to get women to not put out to men who drink. And also there used to be flyers, I think for World War I or World War II, but basically it was flyers that went around saying like basically women weren't gonna fuck you, or women don't fuck guys who don't go to the draft. You know, basically that the
Propaganda.
poster's whole meaning is like you're not gonna get any pussy if you don't go to the
Still
draft.
like
or don't
that,
give
but
out any pussy to
You
anybody.
tell
not going to
tell
the
someone
draft.
you're a Marine, you're instantly gonna get like 20% more pussy bonus. Like it's just the way it works.
Hell yeah, your pussy energy goes up when you're a soldier.
yeah,
You're right,
man.
or a military person, and
Or
you don't
good
even
look-
got to be nothing. You could be just an army guy who worked on a computer.
Correct.
Exactly.
Come back
Yeah.
home with the fatigues on.
What the
See,
fuck
we
are we
got
just
away
talking
from the
about?
idea that if we're talking about the power of pussy. That other guy calls it magical pussy. And folks, look, the reality is, if you're in a relationship, and if I get horny and I want some of that sweet loving, I'm more likely to pull out that credit card, and my wife is more likely to give me that sweet loving, and that's just a fact, right?
It's not.
Click?
Yeah, it's not. It's not a sexist way of thinking. It's very primitive. You're providing, and so is she.
Yeah.
And it goes back to happiness. Now, some chicks are totally cool with not getting dicked out and just making it their own way, but most of them end up being like, you know, dumpy late 50s messes, and they're driving like Dodge Neons with a headlight out with a bunch of haberdashery in the back seat. It usually doesn't end good for them.
Descriptive you were that, by the way.
I've just thought of this lady I knew. And then she's just all about empowerment.
You know,
and
but we're
You go,
talking
girl.
about biology again. That don't you think men, or most of us heterosexual men, Ross Dog can't come in now, but we want sex. We want to put that rod in that cone more than women do, right, Cosmic? Right, Click?
I put a
I don't
cone
know,
in
I
a
think
cone.
More
so.
than them.
Or is it a part of their method to try to let us think they don't think that? You know, is that part of their tools and tricks to make it seem like they don't?
What do you
Well,
think?
no, we definitely have to have more of a sex drive because evolution and nature tells us that we can impregnate multiple women, or like we can impregnate a new woman every day, but a woman, she can only get pregnant once, you know what I'm saying? And then she's out of commission. So I think there has to be a reason for it. There has to be a biological reason for a higher sex drive.
Well, if you
We
look at the
definitely
prime,
do. And I don't know, but here's the thing. And this little crazy thing we call being in love with another person, it's a mixture of sex and romance. That's really the thing. And women, as much as we think about sex, Sam, I think maybe women think equally about romance that much. It might not be putting the rod in the cone, but they're thinking about like hanging out with you and growing old
Nah.
with you. That's what they're thinking about. And they're thinking about dick too. No, they're human beings who are thinking about dick and rubbing that clit too.
they're thinking
But I
about
think they
security.
spend more time in romance.
After a certain age,
But
they
they're-
just think
but-
about security.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
no, yeah, you're right about that. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. No, I have a test for whether you like a dame or not. You fuck them, and then right afterwards, if you don't want them to go, then you like them.
Your romance will only go so far. Like you know, going out and doing this. If you're a
I don't
scum,
know.
if you're
I
like,
still
if you don't
think-
got your life together and shit, it'll like after a certain age, they're just like, I kind of want nice stuff, and it's like, it's a tension. You might still be able to make it work. It's just they're seeing their friends their age with guys that have like mansions, and things just become
Listen,
more complicated.
Like,
Brings up Cosmic, by the way.
quick, as a guy with the moped and like living at my mom's house again, like I'm surprised every single time these bitches open their legs for me. I think we can think really rigidly about things, and we can think of life formulaically. Like if you don't
Right.
have your life together, if you don't have these 5 key points by this age, no women are gonna want you. But life is fucking weird, dude. Like
Right,
I
that's
never
what I'm
thought
saying,
I'd
it's
be dating a
complicated.
woman 20. I never thought I was gonna be dating a woman 20 years my elder for 4 years. Like I didn't plan for that. or
All I'm
expect
saying
that.
is
It just
if
fucking
you're
happened,
if
you
you're
know what
my
I'm saying?
age, if you're my age or your age, we're close in age. If we're the same person, but we're a very successful person, it's going to be a huge difference in whether you get a chick that's going to be down for you for the long haul, somebody who's worth marrying, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Hell
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just because they're not going
But
to be
then,
out
well,
searching
then-
for that.
But then what about these hoes that are just with men for money, and then once they get laid off and they got to go work at
That's
fucking
totally different.
the Amazon
That's-
warehouse? That's another situation too, because it's like them bitches are being fake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a bitch who fucks with me sleeping at my mom's house on a futon. Like that bitch is gonna ride, bro. That That bitch ain't here for money. That
That's
bitch is here
true.
for
Oh, you're
dick or
right.
love. You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be a keeper. Yeah.
Let's
I
make
mean,
it
it's gonna
personal.
be tough to
That's
find.
not common, but I have to put a lot of work into it, and it's not common. Now, if I was rolling around here in a fucking 300 and had my own shit, you know what I'm saying? I definitely would be getting.
And
way
that's
more
actually
pussy, you know?
easier to attain than trying to keep a bitch and be, you know what I'm saying? Like you could be.
Yeah, to get the stuff to get them is easy. It's almost keeping them that's hard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly. Yeah.
Fucking, since the show is about Sam. Come on, shut up, Click.
Yeah, it should be, man. It'll be good. Your Cosmic is good too. Listen, I wanted to bring it to someone we're talking to, Cosmic. We're
White
talking
Phillip.
about biology versus this notion of love. So we don't have to go far. We just have to ask Cosmic. Now, Cosmic, I've heard you say that you love your old girlfriend, you know, the older dame, and I believe that you loved her dearly, and yet you kind of threw that love away because you wanted to fuck the daughter. So is that a case of biology over love? I wanted to get your thoughts on that because it's a real life situation, man.
Hey, Sam, did your first marriage, did you throw that love away, or did you kind of just burn out and naturally?
I'll tell you what, and that's a good question. You answer my question, I'll answer yours.
Well, I'll say this. I don't think I definitely didn't throw away a fucking 4-year relationship for some pussy, nigga. Like I definitely did not do that. Like our relationship,
Okay.
we were struggling with it for about a year, and we both knew it was coming to an end. And then I fucked the daughter like a few weeks after, and that's not. I mean, so I'm not saying like, and you in your Hallmark brain, in your fucking television media brain,
Hallmark Drive. I don't even watch TV. Don't you dare do that, sir.
in your media brainwashed brain, I guess you think that I don't love my old dame because I did that. But that's to me it's separate. Like what is love? You know, I guess that's the question we ask. What is love? Because I would still die for her. If I knew there was someone about to shoot at her, I would jump right in the way for her.
Love is
You know what I'm saying?
convenience.
So what is love?
And loyalty.
I thought it was biology, where you guys were breaking up anyway. It is curious. You had to go to the doctor. You did care enough about the daughter in some way because you must have known it would hurt the other woman and maybe hurt their relationship. So I was too value in my language, but it is an interesting situation.
Sam, what is love? He asked you that
There's
though.
different kinds of love, right?
Do you think it exists though?
Here's a better question.
Is it a
Can I
construct?
click question, and then I'll answer, is it a construct? This is an age-old question, and Cosmic should answer this because most of his answers are really smart and profound. Is it better to love or to be loved?
I would
situation.
I'll put it to you this way. I would say at the end of the day, it's better to be loved, it's better to love, but that's only because. Why do you love somebody? Because it feels good. So at the end of the day, it's coming back on you. It's a selfish move to love somebody in the first place.
Yeah, it's selfish. That's what I would say. It's better to be to love than to be loved. It's better to love.
That's why these two are so smart. They gave an answer to Phaedrus. Now, Phaedrus said to the question, it's better to love because it brings out your best. It motivates you. So a lot of people will say the reverse, but these two, at least according to most philosophers, gave the right answer. It's better to love.
Well, I'm of the mindset that no matter what you do, you're selfish. If I was to jump in front of a bullet for you, Sam, why would I do that? Do I want to become a hero? Do I value your friendship? And at the end of the day, I want you to live. So I'm wanting something out of that situation, even if I want you to live.
That's how I think it is. You're right. I think it's rooted in selfishness. I don't want my friend Sam to die, so I'm going to jump in the way because this is my world and Sam's not getting shot. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it's rooted. That's
that
definitely
little
rooted
sound
in
effect,
selfishness.
that little that was good, Cosmic. we talked about this issue on my probably old show. The stream got shut down. Hopefully it comes back. Busters. The question is, why do people do things? And most psychologists say it's transactional, meaning that just like these two wise people just said, we get something back. In behavioral terms, we get a reinforcer. Now, religious people in theology might say different. Freud said there was only one true non-transactional relationship possible between a mother and a child, meaning a mother will instinctively give to a child without expecting anything back. But my view of the world aligns with these two. When we do something good, I feel good. It even gives me kind of a physical good feeling, because if I gave money to a charity and felt bad, I wouldn't do it. Boy, we're going heavy tonight, aren't we, kids?
So
Agree
yeah,
with you two.
well, look at a mother bear, right? She'll eat one of the cubs just so the other ones survive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's love. That's sacrifice.
That's love.
Like,
Agree.
when my daughter was born, like, I was, people always ask you, it's like, geez, what's that like? People who don't have kids and stuff like that.
I know.
To be honest, what it was like, it was because, I love the kid. It came from me and everything like that, and I cherish it, and it's cute and everything like that. But I don't know it yet. It's a person. It's just a thing that just came out. It's like it takes a relationship and a bond and struggle and, sacrifice and to develop love. So I feel like it's like a time. But anyway, so for me, at least for like the first couple weeks, because I'd been an uncle for a long time, it felt like I was babysitting my niece but my niece just never left the house, and then finally, like, I'm like, wow, okay. After the personality develops and stuff like that, you get a bond.
Strange.
I don't know.
Well, why don't you ask my experience?
That's interesting. What about your experience, Sam? I don't have kids.
If
Tell me.
Cosmic has any children too. First of all, when you go into it, there's a weird state because we're given a script. How many movies have we seen on the scene? It's kind of like Hawaii and Venetia. They're all hyped up, and most experiences don't. When you go through the experience, it's not as good. But if you've been to Hawaii and Maui, it lives up to the hype. The same with Venetia. So here, I had heard about this experience my whole life, and it was me, man, and my first wife, she didn't have much medication, because if you want medication, they give it to you. But I remember we went to this special class teaching us how to handle the pain, and they taught us. They said, I remember this, the coaches walking around said, hold her hand when she goes into labor and she's giving the baby, hold her hand. So when my dame goes into labor and she's screaming, I took her hand and she said, let go. So it's a script, and baby actually comes, and you see this little head, and it kind of looks like an alien in a way. It's ivory like bones, but the head is kind of too big for that little twat. And it's amazing how a thing that big can come out of that little hole, but that hole becomes bigger and stretches. And this is where I differ from you. It lived up to the hype. Something came over me like I've never felt before. Like this was me. This is what I was meant to do, which of course in real biology terms, we're meant to reproduce. And it was kind of spiritual, and it was, and the second one isn't as good like most things, and it was spiritual, magical, and I get what you're saying there, Click, but you know what? When an infant comes and you're around that infant, man, they poop and they scream, and there's not a whole lot of personality to attach.
That's what I'm saying. They're all pretty much the same
I'm talking
exact.
about the moment of birth. No, I agree with you there. I'm talking about the moment of birth. Now, in terms of attachment, man, they need the dame. They need the mom. They don't need dad.
Yeah, well, that's
Or
what.
father.
If you look at the primates, right? There's an alpha, and the alpha fucks all the bitches around, and so like that's just kind of how nature is. It's like being a father and like a sticking around and being there. It's almost unnatural for men. It takes that's why they say it takes a real man. It shouldn't, but it does, and
it takes
Feels
a
like
real
a
man.
pussy, let's be honest.
What?
I think there's evolutionary reasons for what you said, and even now when I watch men like pussy around and make like a father, it does feel unnatural. I'm just being honest.
Oh, well, it's less unnatural now than it was. It's like more commonly accepted for dudes to take on. It's not like the 1960s where it was like, all right, bitch, fucking, like what happened
but
once.
Click, you were making a biologic point based on evolution, and I was agreeing with you. I'm saying it's not just cultural. There's something biologic in me that isn't natural. You brought up the point of biology. I just agreed with you. Is it more accepting culturally? Of course.
I mean,
I wasn't talking about.
Like, yeah, we're supposed to be designed to just go around and fuck like anything that we can and anybody that we can dominate. But obviously, we live in a society where that is not a possibility. So that creates a lot of tension.
It's a possibility, but if you want to commit a crime, now, Click, you're pretty smart tonight, sir. Now we have different parts of our brain. You can use different words. Let me use psychological terms. There's the id, which is desire and sex, rage. There's the ego, which controls between the id, and there's something called the super ego. Think of it as a religious sense. So when we go on a beach, the biology id, let's be honest, men, we want to fuck those dames, those good-looking dames, those boobies, and we have to look away. But if
it's
we
put
were
into
just
check by our
we
super
throw them
ego.
down and fuck them. And then we have the super ego saying, don't do it. And that's society. And I think that's what you're talking about, right? The truth, man, the truth, right?
And those boundaries are what create the ego. And then that's why they think at night when you have these dreams, like that's why at night it's like a release for your subconscious. Your id gets to go wild, right? Because there's I get to do all this stuff without any consequences, right?
Nobody knows yet. They don't have that. They have theories, but
No, that's what I'm doing. I'm just theorizing. I'm just throwing it out there. But to people who don't, to people in chat who might not be into this as much as you and I'm gonna kind of break it down a little bit, okay? So it's like
you could read what chat says.
At night, like you're allowed to fuck that girl that you wanted to fuck. You're allowed to beat the fuck out of that guy that you wanted to fight, that cut you off in traffic maybe or something like that, that you had to be checked throughout the day or throughout the month or the year, and with your super ego saying, you can't do that. What would mother think? What would, maybe if you're religious, what would father think? What would the priest think? What would, am I going to go to jail? That's also part of the super ego, right?
What would Barack Obama think?
Right. What would Sam Hill think if I used objectivity in the wrong context?
I say that all the time.
Cosmic. What I think? I was thinking of Schindler's List because it's clickbait. That's one of his favorite movies, and he's talked about this movie, and it got brought up right now because we talked about the id and what happened in Nazi society in a concentration camp described, and what Schindler's List was about. This concentration camp was some people had power of pure id, meaning they could do whatever they wanted when they were in authority. And I've seen that sometimes, Click. I see that in a fight sometimes with men. Fights I've been in where we just take over and it feels like a little animal, and maybe that's why a reason I'm not really into porn watching people fuck, because when I fuck it's beautiful, man. That sweet loving is beautiful, but if you step back and watching people fuck, it's an animalistic act, and it sure reminds us we're animals.
Oh yeah, I mean, I never forget that. I just feel like I'm a more intelligent animal. Like when I'm talking to my dog, I feel like there's a little not a good, but a connection. Dogs respond to verbal commands and stuff like that. And I feel like they have they have compassion. When you're faking like you're dead or something like that, they'll freak out when they're happy to see you when you come. Now, whether that's because you're gonna feed them or not, or whether they're worried about getting their, affection. I'm not gonna say that, because we agreed already that maybe love is just a construct anyway.
What I would say. This is what I would say. I think it's interesting. Now, I think, and I've had dogs. Dogs do love you, man. And they form that infection, but it's not stronger than starvation. And of course, I would assume you like cringe. We've heard about those cases where a woman dies and they'll be locked in, and the dog will eat off her face.
Well, look at the Donner Party.
What an interesting story. Can you talk about that?
Well, there was the Donner Party. It was this party that was headed out to California. I forget from where, obviously somewhere east. And they decided that they were going to take a pass and save, cut some miles off their trip. And they were only 30 miles from the California plains. And, so they were stuck up in the mountains. They got snowed in. And when the people came there to, I think it was maybe the spring after, however, when the pass opened up, people came through and they only found the patriarch, I believe, if I remember the story right. And he was like, everybody else was like dead or eaten. And he had a pot of boiling blood that he was drinking.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's sad because he was only 30 miles. They were only 30 fucking miles, man, from salvation. And what a horrible fucking scene, dude.
But sir, you kind of glossed over the boiling blood, which meant what?
They ate each other.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they loved each other too, but that just proves starvation's a powerful thing, whether you're an animal. Well, we're all animals, I guess. That's the point.
The Catholic Church came out on this, and this came up because there was some mountain climbers in the Andes, and they ate the dead people too. And the Catholic Church had to make a determination: was it a sound thing to do according to doctrine, or was it a sin? And the Catholic Church came out and said to keep themselves alive, it was okay to eat that dead skin, to eat those dead bodies. So now words are cheap. Oh, we'd never do that. Well, we don't know, man. I know when I get hungry, my attitude changes. And going back to Schindler's List, I've heard stories that those people would do just about anything to get food.
Like what?
They'd turn their sister. Well, like they became capos. That is, the prisoners became the abusers to have better living conditions. So the Jewish guys became Nazi-like in their behavior to have that access to food, etc. What are we capable of?
If you guys were ever in that situation, this is a handy, I think, survival technique for you guys. If you're ever caught in a situation where you feel like you're not going to be able to eat, I mean, without water, you're pretty much fucked. But if you have water but you can't eat, I watched a documentary. I should look for it before I start talking about it. Put it in the Discord. But there was a documentary about fasting, and they talked about during the World War I. They were trying to figure out how little calories they could give British people to sustain them and keep them alive and to keep them working while we were trying to help them rebuild. And they basically did two different experiments kind of at the same time. They took 30 people and they gave them a very low calorie diet. And then they took another 30 people and they didn't feed them at all. And it's almost for whatever biological or evolutionary reason, it's almost easier to just go. It's easier to fast mentally than it is to eat a little bit. So if you have rations, it's almost not good to eat rations like throughout a whole entire
because your
week.
metabolism will kick up.
Yeah, you suffer again. You keep suffering, you know, and like whereas like whenever you fast, and I've done a lot of fasting. Really, hunger is this thing that it's not like we in our brains how we think of hunger and how we eat in America. We think hunger is something that builds. Like if I don't eat for an hour, I'm pretty hungry. I don't eat for 2 hours, I'm kind of hungry.
It's
I don't
your
eat for
insulin.
3 hours, I'm really hungry. I'm really hungry, and we think it's a precipitous build, but really hunger plateaus after about a day.
Yep.
After you fast for about a day, hunger plateaus. It's pretty bad, and then it's off and on for the next 2 days, and then about around day 3 or 4, like you almost stop wanting to eat, and your head doesn't hurt. You don't have headaches. Like you're almost clear. And they did it with that study. They learned in that study that the people that they fed them like radishes or something, and they like those people started like they were like prisoners. They all turned into prisoners. Those 30 people that they were given like half a radish to every day, they were going into like a garage or garbage bags and stealing out of that, and then people were smuggling in chewing gum and trading it for coffee because they were allowed to drink coffee, and they were trading chewing gum for coffee. Like they became savages. It almost became a prison.
Well,
Everyone became a dick,
lot
and
of
they started
people-
fighting each other.
Cosmo, a
And the
lot of people
fasting
don't know
people and the
that.
people who were forced to fast, they didn't really ever get out of pocket. Sorry, keep going.
No, it's all right.
Oh,
A lot of
that's
people
all
don't
right.
know
That's
that breakfast is literally the word break fast. It's you're breaking a fast. Like that's why if you don't
absolutely.
eat in the morning, that's why by lunch you're like, I guess I could maybe eat something. But if you eat something in the morning, and then by the time lunch comes around, you're starving. You're gonna be fucking hungry.
Yeah.
It's you kickstart that
Breakfast is not
metabolism.
good. It's almost not good to eat breakfast. I
No,
don't
it is
know,
good.
but-
It is good. It's I mean, if you're gonna be active, it's good. If you're gonna be sitting
Okay,
around all
yeah.
day, I don't know, you know. But if you got to go do something, yeah, I mean, it's best to eat probably a good half hour before you go out, and then you're gonna have energy to actually do shit. You won't be like groggy, like that. Eating something in the morning works better to wake you up than a cup of coffee will, like long term, because you actually have the energy.
I
instead
don't
of
know,
like
man.
a-
Some mornings I'll eat a nice egg sandwich with some bacon, and it's just that insulin dump from the bread. It will get me tired, you know.
Yeah, maybe,
I don't
maybe.
know.
But I guess lunch.
I guess
the-
if I eat like a lean breakfast, if I eat some bacon and some eggs only, no toast and no jelly or nothing like that, then
But
I'll
you
feel
munch
way
at night
better.
though too, don't you? You probably have.
Yeah, I'm a bad night muncher.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing. If you went to sleep hungry when you woke up in the morning and ate, that's my problem too. Is I stay up late and I eat, and then so I when I eat a breakfast, I'm like, man, I should be eating a decent breakfast right now. Fuck, I can't. I'll get sick, dude. You know, like when you get really, really high, so high, and then you wake up in the morning and your fucking gut hurts and you're fucking. It's almost like a hangover, dude. It's
A
very
little
similar.
groggy, yeah.
Yeah, that coffee is definitely helpful with that shit.
Click.
Or the
Click.
sinful energy drink. Yeah.
Click. Break up the diet show, but I think something interests me more that Cosmic said, so let me bring it up. And if you don't,
Well, it's all
care,
about you,
can
so go ahead.
No, it's all about the viewers in chat. People, if you want to hear about what they ate for dinner.
No, go ahead, Sam. I want to know. What did I say that interests you? What piques
So-
your arousal?
Cosmic was talking about interpretation of data on an experiment. Of course, the problem with experiments and people is there's ethical concerns. You can't do things to people that you can on animals, but there have been historical periods of time when all the ethics went out the window with the Japanese during World War II, and maybe bringing it back to Schindler's List, the Nazis did whatever they wanted experimentally on
The Tuskegee experiment with the black pilots or whatever.
You're talking about Tuskegee. That wasn't the Nazis. That was in the South, in Alabama, I believe. No, so the Nazis did all these experiments, man. Anything those doctors wanted to do, they did it. And one of the things they did, for example, was they simulated a high altitude, and they figured out at what altitude worked on a human, and they combined all that data to give to their pilots. So after the war, the Americans and other people had an ethical dilemma. Would they use that data conducted in concentration camps on Jewish prisoners? Would they use it in their own conclusions, or wouldn't they?
I think
Well,
you
not
got
only
to.
did
I
they
think you
use it,
have to. I
they
think
brought
to
over
me,
Nazi scientists to
yeah,
develop
Operation
our
Paperclip.
our missile program. So there were ethics, and I thought a shaman, you would know more about.
Yeah, you definitely can't waste knowledge, even if something fucked up happened. Like, don't waste that knowledge. I mean, truth is truth, right? Even if we got there through ugly means. I don't think any of that shit is cool that they did. Like with the changing the brown eyes blue, I knew that was a thing. I knew they had an obsession. Certain scientists, Nazi scientists, had obsessions with twins and trying to figure out like all the ins and outs of twins. And it was interesting that you were talking about how like the bond between a mother and child is like almost like the most sacred form of love, because the Nazis were really into that too. They knew that the bond between women and children were something particularly like they were trying to learn how to use that bond between women and children to easier brainwash the youth of Germany. How do we get the moms to behave to affect the children how we want them? So they picked up on that too. But nah, man, I think even if you got some ugly data, you got it through ugly means, I would never do any of those experiments. But if we have the data, man, I mean, why not use it?
The Jews started rubbing off on the Nazis because towards the end, they started pinching pennies and like lining them up and shooting them in the head and seeing how many they could kill with one bullet. So I think they're frugal. It's a dark joke. I'm sorry.
That's an incredibly insensitive click.
Yes.
Sam, why would you say that?
Yeah, Sam DM'd me that, so I just thought I'd bring it up.
What happened was Cosmic. They came up with ovens partly because of they used to. Well, you could say, man, why didn't they just shoot? Why didn't the Nazis just shoot these prisoners and put them in ditches? And they did. But what happened was that the Nazis who did that had psychological damage because there was that connection. I mean, you see a body when you shoot and it goes down. But if you have Jewish prisoners do all the dirty work, that saves the psyche of the soldiers. It's kind of comparable to fighter pilots when they drop those bombs. In a sense, they have to not come to grips with the damage the bombs do, or they probably couldn't do it.
You know, they used to have 12 and 13-year-olds working, or not working, but like, you know, serving in the military. Yeah, on the American side.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to some vets when I was traveling, and one of them in particular, he lied when he was, I think, 16, and he was in Vietnam when he was 16 years old, and he said there was a couple of soldiers. It was pretty common for young boys to lie and try to get into Vietnam. And then they would just do it, and then they would. He remembers he told his story about him getting shot and him laying down and talking to his lieutenant or whoever, and he looking down like, "Damn, man, you got hit. You're going home." And he was like, "I'm sorry, lieutenant." He goes, "Why are you sorry? You're going home." He goes, I'm 16, dude." He was like, he remembers the lieutenant be like, "Fuck, man, what the fuck?" Like freaking out on him, like. But it was actually relatively common during Vietnam for young boys to lie.
That brings me to one of the reasons why Cosmic is so righteous and a rare man, because there was a draft during the Vietnam, and the government basically said, "We don't care if you want to go or not. We have the authority. We are the authority." And it's hard to stand up to authority, and talk is cheap, and yet Cosmic did. And he didn't do it out of self-interest. I was trying to get him to tell this story before, and I'll say the story and he can correct me. What happened was, and authority, the police told him to hand over ID, and all Cosmic had to do was do it, but this little fucker said no. There's something called the Constitution.
Oh man, I just learned something. There was 8 POWs, 8 American POWs were, I hope I'm saying this right, vivisected. Have you ever heard that word?
Oh man, vivisected, yeah, man. They're like going in, working on the body to learn, and they're tearing up on it. Yeah, man.
Said the Grizzly experiments included
where
injecting.
Was this?
Yeah,
they would have done that.
It was in Japan.
They would have done that.
They said that they injected seawater into the men to see if it could be used like a saline drip, and removal of organs and parts of organs to see how long they could survive. One man had part of his brain removed to see if it would be an effective treatment for epilepsy. The bodies were originally preserved. And then they put them in formaldehyde.
There was a famous where they did this. There was a famous research facility where, just like the Nazis, but these people, they did it on the POWs. The Germans did it on Jews, I guess. But the Japanese, not only on Americans, but on anyone not Japanese.
See, we should have known this was coming with this Jimmer guy. Stories like this.
Switched to Jimmer. You switched.
I read it in the chat. I was respecting chat. Sorry.
This chat's saying we haven't checked with chat. Click, come on, man. I respect the chat.
They're saying.
Oh, they're just all in there sucking your dick, Sam.
Yep, this is Sam's great.
Too. Those are fun. Never censor chat. What are they saying? Care if they don't like me?
Cosmic stories are highly suspect tonight.
Oh,
Cynthia says.
I believe him. He's an honest man.
What story did I tell tonight?
I think she's joking.
Alexander Octopus Cortez says Sam won against Ross, and his stories are the best. Oof.
Ross was embarrassing, man. I don't know. Ross didn't want to go up against me. I don't blame him. He didn't. It wasn't fair because he didn't try, but he ran away for whatever reason. Maybe he was tired. Like he cares so much about streaming on Saturday. He didn't have it. He went to sleep last Saturday. Maybe he wanted to catch up on his sleep.
Quit picking on Ross.
Damn.
You big bully.
Yeah, you're right.
Sam is the Pope, Beetlejuice says.
Oh, hey, you know who Beetlejuice is, right? Cosmic?
The fictional character, or Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show?
There's a reason why I'm pointing him out, because Cosmic has put a lot of effort, and I'm not making this up. He's put a lot of time into helping this woman called, and I dig her, man. I think Cosmic does. Cosmic has been over at Making Lemonade, and he's heroic because Jimmer Nam has come in there and being his usual psychopathic, horrible self. Anyway, Cosmic, Beetlejuice was a major person in chat during Jimmer Nam's show. Him and me were like the top chat people. So if you want to know anything about Jimmer Nam, he's a resource, and not only that, he's one of the best people on the
I've been going to Hankenstein this whole time with Beetlejuice. Okay.
Go Cowboys, by the way. Now Hankenstein, I'm surprised. I thought he was pro Jimmer. Has he changed, Cosmic?
I don't know if Hankenstein was ever really pro Jimmer. I mean, I think he was for a while, but I think he became evil. I think after the Darius stuff, the Discord stuff, and the kid stuff, I think he stopped liking him. But for a while, he was like jumping over there, pretending like, "Hey, I'm still your #1 fan," and then, but really secretly just trolling him a little bit. So yeah, I think he switched over to the dark side a long time ago.
He's a great guy. If you say Beetlejuice, man, thank him for me. That's why I brought him up, because Cosmic, so much of his on air now is and Click, you know about him and the dames. You know about Cosmic and the dames over there, Click?
Look, Cosmic gets pussy like nobody's business. Everybody knows that.
Folks, if you go over there, just
I'm dripping in it.
Read the comments. Now, Cosmic, I assume that you're in contact with some of those dames. Would that be true?
Well, I wish I could enjoy the dames, but here's the thing. Misery has a couple of catfish trolls also trying to talk to me. So there's a bunch of girls I do have in my DMs on Discord, but I suspect that about half of them are guys. And all the girls started hitting on me too aggressively in the chat, so I finally just made a rule. I said, listen, I'm not wasting no time. If you want to talk to me, you gotta send me a picture of your titties with the name Cosmic written on with eyeliner on one of them. And I was like, if you ain't doing that, then I'm not even gonna begin to talk to you. I had to throw down the gauntlet, clickbait. I gotta, let's see who's really about it, and let's see who's wasting my time. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking the same thing. I was going to say to you, with consent, if you wanted to hook up with Cosmic, you had to send him a picture of your pussy or your tits, and he figured it out. So how many women have done that there, Cosmic?
Well, a young man doesn't, tit pick and tell, just.
It's a number.
But let me put it to you this way: not very many.
Are we talking 0-0, or did you get a couple at least? Come on.
He's pleading the fifth.
Sam, yeah, I'm pleading the fifth, Sam, because it doesn't help my look in the community if I'm over here talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Sam? I'm trying to be a gentleman right now.
Look,
you can only go so far, bro.
That be an asylum? Venice Beach with the hippie. Well, okay.
Venice Beach. Yeah, good shot, Sam. Good shot.
Oh, look, when I was 16, my first friends were old hippies on Venice Beach, and that's in California, not too far from Malibu.
I thought it was in Venice.
It's named after Venice because when they had this community planning for Venice, California, they made these little canals. So that's where the name came from. That's correct. It came from Venetia, which Americans call Venice.
I knew where Venice Beach was. I'm just kidding, dude. But yeah, Venice is beautiful.
But
the sunken city.
So Cosmic knows it wasn't a put down. I would go to that beach and they would pass these old hippies and they'd be playing songs like Neil Young and those old 60s classics, and they'd pass around joints and they'd include me, man. They'd say, "Hey man, just come sit down. Oh, you want to join in and sing?" And they'd pass, and they were cool. I mean, old hippies can be fun if they're true. It was kind of a compliment to you, Cosmic. Now you have this.
I don't know, some old hippies can be scumbaggy though.
Yeah, annoying. Like,
they can be scumbags. They can be horrible. They can be panhandlers and parasites. But I was thinking of the hippies in the best sense.
Entitled.
Cosmic.
That's the worst part of them. Some of them are entitled.
I always say that Cheech and Chong. I fucking hate Cheech and Chong. And maybe I would have liked him at the time, but what was going on? You had Nixon was president, and he was already making it like, if you smoke weed, you're you're this, and this, and this. You're a Black Panther supporting fucking like terrorist, basically hippie. It's just so easy to lump you. And then so hippies are stupid because they talk like this, man, and shit like that. And fucking
people use man are look out for them, man.
Well, you're the exception to the rule, Sam, obviously. But what I'm saying is that Cheech and Chong, all that shit made stoners look absolutely moronic. And for decades, they were still viewed like that. Just now are we getting away from the stigma that you can smoke weed and not be a fucking knuckle dragger, right?
Yeah. But definitely, that probably did look bad. But that was stoner humor. Stoner humor is still stoner humor, you know what I'm saying?
I like that stoner humor.
I mean, but that's what Dave Chappelle regrets Half Baked. There's not that many good weed movies. Like, think of a good weed movie. I like How High, but that's
a good one.
That's kind of still shows potheads is goofy, But I mean, what are we supposed to look serious,
I like the best stoner scene was in Easy Rider. Do you know that movie either?
Easy Rider? No.
But they were smoking dope throughout there, and they were kind of heroic. They were anti-heroes. But there was this scene, and they went to Topanga Canyon. They were hippies, and they were cool hippies, man. They were playing music and loving, and they were in a circle, and they were singing about peace. Give peace a chance, John Lennon, and they were smoking dope. So there's an exception. Stoner movies are stupid.
True that. I don't know. I think it's always be a goofy thing because when you first smoke weed, you're goofy. You're laughing, you're having fun.
Yeah, man, having fun.
That's cool, but I guess my problem. Yeah, I don't know. Because I get it. It is about having fun and this and that.
But it's almost becoming almost not that anymore, right? Do you feel like it's not that anymore? Like, did you feel like clickbait that, like, maybe this is a youthful thing, maybe this is just because I was young and I thought this, but like to me, I felt like 10 years ago I could be friends with anybody who smoked weed. But now that weed's become such a like a cup of coffee, it's like, oh no, there's some people that smoke weed and I still don't want anything to do with these fucks. You know what I'm saying?
The tribal thing. It's
No,
like a
because I
fuck you
knew.
to all in society.
I think that's part of growing up, Cosmic. I think that just because you're older now, you're like, I don't like all these scumbags only because they smoke weed. Like it's got to be more than that. You've got to have some character, you know, to chill with me.
That.
Because
that.
I mean, there was tons
I
of people
just
back then that were scumbags.
Yeah.
That smoke.
I just remember I remember looking at all the high school. I remember my senior year of high school. I think that movie Pineapple Express came out, and I remember all the yuppie kids like started to smoke weed. And I remember like, oh, you niggas weren't smoking weed and listening to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Well, it's just like
y'all
when,
smoked weed because the movie came out. You know,
it's just like when you find a new show or something like that. Like back in the day, back before Netflix, where you could just like boom upload everything and somebody could catch up with you in 2 seconds. It's like when you were watching a show and you're like, dude, this show's fucking badass. And everybody's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a chance, blah, blah, blah. And then a few years later, everybody's like, bro, this show is fucking sweet. And you're like, yeah, you should have listened to me a couple years ago. It's kind of like that same thing.
Yeah, there has to be a little bit of that, yeah.
You know, you're like, fuck, dude. Guys, you're just now realizing this shit's awesome. Like my sisters are 6 and 8 years older than me. I'm the baby. And they were always getting high and shit. And I was like... You know, I was just like, not really interested. It smells like fucking dog shit, to be honest. And, you know, they'd always offer it to me, and I'm like, no. And then I was just like, fuck it. I'll do it. I was
The
like
chicken
18.
lovers here. The fat slob loser pill.
Hold on, this is not your show, Sam. We greet CEO with kindness and respect. CEO, how you doing tonight, brother?
I just wanted to announce to the world that the channel Chicken Review is coming to YouTube.
Why can't you articulate, man? You're under those pills.
CEO, I think that's going to be more successful than you expect, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, everyone tells me that. Everyone tells me it's going to be way more successful than I think. I'm going to be eating chicken and reviewing it.
Go to like all the. Are you still in Toronto, right?
Oh yeah, that's right, man.
Go to all like the shitty hipster places. You know what I'm saying? Go to all the shitty hipster places that are on Instagram and review their chicken on YouTube. I guarantee you will start. I guarantee you'll get monetized, dog. I promise you.
Oh, I think so. I think Sam Hill is going to have to.
Sam Hill. Let me try to talk slower and dumber. It'll be hard. Hey, I want to kill all handicapped children. Aren't I edgy?
Yeah, you should do that.
So you're not in support of the chicken channel? Is that what I'm picking
No,
up on?
I'm not in support of people hanging with a guy who honestly wants to kill handicapped people. Is that edgy? I think that's just gross. Now, someone said you were serious about that, CEO. CEO of what? Shit? Is that would you really want all death to handicapped children? I just asked you. What is your answer?
I mean, as you're saying that, Sam, does it sound reasonable that he really wants all handicapped children to die?
And then someone I respect, Bellin, said,
Well, let's hear him.
No,
Let's hear his response.
But
I don't want to put words in his mouth. Let him respond, Sam. Sam, let him respond.
Let him answer.
You know what? Yeah, I do. How about that? How about that?
Fucking asshole, see ya.
Yeah, why not?
You want to kill the
Shame
handicap?
laugh at a man
Fuck 'em.
serious about not wanting handicapped people to exist.
Yeah, wouldn't life be better if we didn't have these dregs of society?
You don't have a life, man. You have no friends. You have no girlfriend. You parasite off society. So how dare you? Some handicapped people are cool, man. Are cool. They're more cool than you.
How dare you? Leave Britney alone. Leave Brittany alone.
The chat is really triggered by CEO's positions.
You don't have an answer for your behavior, do you? You came on and made like, oh, people will like this, or you don't give a fuck, and you want handicapped children to die.
Bastards!
You idiot! That's not funny. Say something funny. Well, you want to bring up chicken for what? The 20th or 30th or 40th time? Man, you're worn, man. You're a limp dick, and people are talking about it, and your show with apologies, and you're bringing down Ian Ellis.
I am bringing Ian Ellis up because we're going to be doing more chicken reviews with Ian Ellis's chicken.
That's a good idea. That's at least another 20 videos right there.
I actually
like this is
support that.
the point. Yeah, everybody wants chicken and you don't. That's the problem.
Video of chicken eating would be okay.
With this guy, this is in honor of Don A. and what this little fuck did to his wonderful kids.
I mean, you could literally go to any restaurant that serves chicken and just order the chicken and then review it. Oh wait, what happened?
Sam doesn't like you, CEO.
I don't like him. I never have.
So there we are, guys. I think that's probably a good spot to end this.
Yeah, I think it's a natural ending spot.
But I think I support your idea of a chicken review segment of with apologies.
Yeah, I don't know if he's being sarcastic, but I really think a chicken channel wouldn't be that bad of an idea. I'm serious.
No, I'm serious about it. Everyone wants it. So
I definitely will subscribe. I'll definitely watch. But
Get a Jamaican jerk.
More popular than you think. You just got to do like a bunch of Toronto hashtags and shit. You know, you just have to make it like super edgy and local and real Canada-y. So just to get the people, get the eyes going over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough chicken in Toronto to be eaten. And, Sam Hill's just going to have to learn to deal with it. You're going to be fat. Well, first off, Sam Hill is absolutely that Chris whatever that tranny was that was doing those Britney Spears videos. Same fucking.
Yeah. Was it Chris Crocker?
Yeah. Leave Donna alone. Leave her alone. That's Don can handle himself. Okay, if all you're doing is handicapping him further.
It's an unfortunate set of circumstances.
It's not unfortunate at all. Don starts shit, couldn't handle it. I drop nuclear bombs like Hiroshima, and that's just what it is.
And Sam Hill is the UN just crying about it 50 years later.
That's what I mean. Like, get over it. Move on. Who cares? I moved on.
I've already clocked out for the day, darling, because
I moved on a long time.
The hoe in
Clickbait, play us out.
I don't know what to say. We've went over this a million times.
There's nothing exactly. But who brought it up?
It's ancient history. It's Sam Hill did. I mean, that's fair enough.
I get it. I get where he's coming from. I'm sure the CEO doesn't care. And that's where we're at.
couldn't care less. In fact, I wish I had gone further, to be honest with you.
That's where he fucked up. He didn't do like a gradual build. It was like you said,
I wish I had Don Jr. right here, like a Don Jr. puppet that I would have with his fucking mangled.
All right, Click. I had a great time on the show. I'm gonna.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to show Joe Booney, Clickbait. Good night, guys.